Okay, hello. All right, so common question I get, and a very common thing that my students want me to work on with them from a hands-on standpoint in the clinic is how to make a good morphology slide and get it to where it's actually readable. And so I'm just going to show you kind of how I do it, and maybe a couple of different ways I'll show you that I like to do. And then, but the trick always is lots and lots of practice and figuring out what way is best for you. So most veterinarians that I see choose to do kind of the blood smear method where they put the drop of stain, drop of semen, back this in there and pull that out like that. I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't make blood smears worth of crap, and I really can't make semen stain smears worth of crud that way either. So I think there's something wrong with me. So I've played with some different ways over the years, and this one has turned out to be my favorite. Hopefully it'll work for you. If not, hopefully you can find one that does work for you. So I got a clean slide. I always do this over a paper towel, and you're going to see why here in a minute. The paper towel doesn't exist when I'm outside and it's windy. That's always an issue. So drop of semen, and then I try to get kind of the smallest drop of stain that I can get. I normally use it out of the bottle. I'm using a pipette today just because I brought it here where I could work with it for this. So I like to use a wooden stick, and I'm going to blend these together and then streak it out. I haven't seen a lot of people do them with the stick. There may be more people out there than I know about, but I think the dowel absorbs some of the excess moisture, and that's always the thing I end up with. Was you end up with a lot more fluid than you wanted. Like, that's a bigger drop of semen than I would want. That's a bigger drop of stain than what I would ideally want. So I'm gonna try to streak this out in a way that it's readable either way. So I take my little wooden dowel and I'm gonna swirl it all together, and then what I'm gonna do is I am going to streak it. You see I got kind of a thick place, and of course the one I'm doing live for the camera is not going like I want it to. There, it's getting better now. I'm getting a little smoother. Not sure if there was maybe a chunk in the semen up here or something wrong with the dowel that made it kind of rough up here. But you see what I'm doing, and then this is why I have the paper towel, is to dot that extra off. So you see, here's a one I made that's a little better, same method. And the idea here is that if you're doing large numbers of bulls and you're going to go back and read the semen at the clinic tonight or whenever, the morphology, you do the motility on site, and you're going to do the morphology label. Of course, we're going to label these. But if I'm not going to look at this slide right now and make sure that it's a good slide, I want to have lots of choices of places to look at it. So I want some thick places and some thin places, with the goal that somewhere in here I've got the right concentration so that I know I'm going to have a readable spot. So if I come down here and it's too thin, but I know, boy, right there it's going to be way too thick, somewhere here in the middle I'm going to be able to count my 100 sperm and do it that way. So that's my preferred method. 2 drop of each, semen and stain, small as you can get them. Mix them together with a wooden dowel, and then kind of stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, to try to get this kind of pattern there. The other thing I learned one time, I was actually working with a practitioner up in Western Kansas, and he taught me a different way, which was to kind of do the blood stain method, but using the side of the slide. So making my little drop, and rather than doing, I'm going to use one of these, rather than doing the like blood smear technique where they're both longitudinal to each other, he told me to go like this. So back the side of a slide back in there, get it all mixed together, and then streak that out. And I have actually found, although that's like, it's not bad. It's not actually bad. I bet there's good readable spots in there. That it does actually streak smoother using the long edge of the slide than it does the end of the slide. There's probably something about physics that has to do with that. I have no idea why, but I have found that to be true when I try something different or I try to teach something different. I do find that streaking the side of the slide seems to work better for me and for him than streaking it end to end. So just another idea. Again, the idea is I'm still going to get my gradient. I'm still going to have multiple locations in there where I have an opportunity to read and find a good place to count and have a successful read.